It's Wednesday, so you already know what time it is. It's Q&A with Skinny. Ask away. What's up, hoop heads? It's your boy Skinny Hardaway, and this is Retro Heat Check. Checking in one more time for the real hoop heads out there. And as always, thank you all for your likes, your shares, your subscriptions, your comments, and of course your questions. Hey, you already know what it is. Tonight, hey, it's Q&A with Skinny. We do this each and every Wednesday. Now, last Wednesday we ran into a little snafu. I don't know what was going on with YouTube not giving me my notifications, but I missed out on a couple questions after the fact of me dropping the contest video. Speaking of the contest, it's on, it's popping. Fanboys, like I said, 1,000 words, you'll get a free pair of sneakers, free pair of LeBrons. Check out the video with the thumbnail of my pup on there, Young Coda, the young soldier. You'll see it on there with all the contest rules and everything like that. You'll see the sneakers and everything on that video. I'm dead serious. If you can convince me with a 1,000-word essay, sneakers are yours, straight up. That's about it, but that's about it on that, man. Like I said, just check out that video. Check out the video with the rules and everything on there. And leave your videos on, and leave your comments and your essays on that video. Anything else anything else on that, anything less than that, disqualified. If you, I had a fanboy drop off a video, drop off a comment, essay, and it was not 1,000 words, so that was null and void. So you can do it again, but we're gonna need it a little bit longer and a little bit more convincing. All right. That's it on that. But speaking of shout outs, man, gotta give a huge shout out to the squad, man. These are my guys, these are my bros. These are the guys that I rock with. They rock with me. We support one another. We're all different. We all come from different walks of life. Our content is different. The way that we attack it and our angles in which we choose to address subject matters. Some of us are more on the education side. Some are more on the entertainment side, but for the majority of us, we're somewhere in the middle. But yeah, man, these are my guys. I support these guys. You guys already know what we're up against. You already know, from the top all the way down to your local La fanboy. We deal with it all, from the lies, the narratives, the propaganda, the excuses, just everything. The disrespect. But hey, what we're here to do is to inform, and when we inform, we are strapped up to the gills with the facts. And when you're armed with the facts and the truth, undefeated. Nothing anyone can say to you. You feel me? So definitely big shout outs go out to my guy, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncommon Sense, Scap Attack, Too Raw for Sports TV, Angry Old Hoops, Uncut Hoops, my twin, Phenomenal Fitness. You already know what it is, man. Hopefully we can link up and finally get this live going on. But I understand that, you know what I'm saying, things is going on in you know what I'm saying, his world. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I just being patient. Hopefully you guys are patient as well. And we will be getting those lives going. Hopefully it'll be the start of something really, really cool. But we got to get it off the ground first. So hopefully once the schedules and all that stuff is lined up, we good. We in there. We Gucci. Also, big shout outs go out to Michael Jordan fans are the best. NMB Sports TV, Man Down Sports, Prince Sports, Geechee Life Sports Talk, my man. You got Ticket TV, big shout outs to you. Jordan versus LeBron, big shout outs. Kobe Bryant Film Room, that is my guy. If you're a Kobe Bryant head, make sure you check him out, man. Make sure you check him out. Shekel Storm NBA, that's my dude. Big shout outs to you. The Real Mind Crime, Mr. AM Sports Talk Radio. Already, you already know what it is, man. The Allen Ricks, man, that's my guy. Also, man, gotta give a huge shout out to NBA Fact Self Research, one of my favorite channels. I would have to say probably one of the most slept on channels in this space, in this area. This guy is all facts, no frills, and I definitely love and cherish the information that he gives. Man, this guy is really, really in depth with his research. So give him a shot. And also, last but not least, cannot forget Hoop God. Can't forget him, man. One of the newer guys that I've come across, man. This guy, he's a wealth of knowledge. So hopefully you guys check all these guys out. If you have not, and if you are checking them out for the first time, hey, show them some love, man. Show them the same love and that you guys show me, man. That's all I ask, man. Just that's what we're all about, man. Showing love, spreading this message of good basketball, teaching from the oldest to the youngest. You already know, man. That's what we are about, man. And definitely got to give a big shout out to these guys because they hold it down. Big shout outs to you guys, man. We don't have any new hoop heads to add to the hoop head haven today. So today will be a closed door meeting. But big shout outs to you guys, man. You guys have really been the numbers are slowly going up. I'm not really in this to be a viral sensation. If it happens, fine. But I mean, I'm just doing this for the love of the game, for the love of the sport, man. And I'm just glad that you guys are rocking with me in each and every day when I check and I see that there's a new subscriber, man. You guys don't understand what it does, man. It really does. It really does make my heart, it just swells up, man. It grows so large, man, because it's just like, man, it's definitely an exciting experience. It's definitely humbling also to have somebody rocking with you just off of what you're dropping and they respect it. And that's all that I ask for, man, is that you guys just respect the content. That's it, man. I don't really ask for money or donations or anything like that. Maybe sometime down the line. I'm still working on my 10,000 hours, so I haven't gotten there yet. But hopefully soon I'll get there, man. Maybe once I get to that level, then maybe I can, maybe this channel could be worthy of your donations or whatever. But for the time being, we're grinding. One day we're going to get all the, the computers, the mics and all that good stuff like that. But for now, we grinding. We trapping off the cell phone right now. You feel me? But needless to say, man, appreciate you all. Thank you. And it is time once again. Q&A with Skinny. Let's get to it, man. This is from my homegirl. I would have to say, man, there's not enough adjectives and superlatives that I would give out to this young lady. She has been down with this channel pretty much since day one. The first channel to really mess with me, and they're not even a basketball channel. They do motorsports and motorcycles and cool stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? But they're hoop fans and they rock with me. And definitely I rock with them, man. And that's Jessica from Motoring with Mouseball. Big shout outs to Jessica. Big shout outs to Mouseball. You guys have always held it down since day one practically, man. So whenever you guys have a question, and hey, I would definitely, if there's nobody ahead of you, definitely we will we here at Retro Heat Check, we will push your questions out there. So today we got a double header from my girl Jessica from Motor and Mouseball, and here we go. Considering Sidney Moncrief hasn't been talked about for a long time, and is now making somewhat of a comeback as a talking point for MJ's legacy. Do you feel Moncrief could dominate this current era defensively? And if so, how would Sydney adapt to the rules of today's current era? Man. You don't know, Jessica, but Sydney Moncrief, when I was younger and I was a hoop crazed kid. I mean, I was psycho about the NBA, in elementary school, going just all throughout the 90s. It was just like, man, the NBA was just on another level and I was hoop crazy. But I had to reach back. My uncle, he would tell me like, man, there's other players, man, that came before. I was so stuck on the 90s that I never really respected the 80s as much. Now I knew the names, but I really didn't know the games. And one of the names that my uncle always would always shout out, would always just, preach the gospel of this guy, was Sidney Moncrief. Sidney Moncrief, man, one of the greatest two-way players in NBA history, and definitely in the 80s, the best two-way player on the perimeter before Michael Jordan hit the scene. Like before, pre-Michael Jordan, Sidney Moncrief was the best two-way guard in the game. I mean, defense. He was a two-time defensive player of the year. He's led the league in steals. Still has the highest steals percentage per game. He averaged almost 3 steals a game. This dude was amazing on the ball defender. And the thing about it was, and this is what I would have to say about Sidney Moncrief, was that he was the standard. At one point in time, he was the standard for the two guard position in the NBA. He was the best two guard in the league pre-Michael Jordan. Pre-Michael Jordan, I would have to say hands down, Sidney Moncrief, in my opinion, was the best two guard in the league. Because he averaged 22, 23 points a game, but he was also locked down, like for real lockdown. Man, it was just that Sidney Moncrief was just, he was just heads and shoulders above anybody else at the position until Michael Jordan came onto the scene. And Michael Jordan had to fall in line, and he had to, he had to fight to dethrone Sidney Moncrief, and Sidney Moncrief beat him out for NBA first team, beating for NBA first team all defense, beating for, didn't beating for the all-star starter spot. Michael Jordan got that. But Sidney Moncrief came back in the same playoffs, rookie year, 84-85 playoffs. His Milwaukee Bucks took care of Michael Jordan 3 games to 1. Sidney Moncrief is definitely one of the unsung heroes, one of the forgotten legends, I have to say. And it's sad to say that he is a forgotten legend, because this guy was definitely a monster. And I'm glad that I have this platform to speak on players such as Sidney Moncrief, and maybe in the future, maybe I can do something in regards to the unsung heroes of the 80s and the 90s. Maybe I'll just stick to the 80s for right now. Maybe I'll do unsung players of the 80s, man. Definitely got to put Sidney Moncrief in there, because he was a dog. And as far as his game today, he would be dominant. They don't even play defense. They don't even play defense anymore. So he would immediately become a factor because of his on-ball defense. He's athletic, quick hands, quick feet. See, the thing about it is, with Sidney Moncrief, what made him such a great defender was his fundamentals. He never played defense with his hands. He always played defense with his feet, always kept his center of gravity low, always stayed squared up. If you ever watch his film, always in a fundamental defensive stance, and could move and stick and stay around, had stamina, could run up and down the court for days, it felt like. This was a guy who, if you put him in the modern game today, with the simple fact of the matter that this guy, although he did play in an era where you were allowed to put your forearm and your elbow on the guy and kind of guide him, you could, you know what I'm saying, you could hand check him, put your hand right on the guy's hip and just, you know what I'm saying, you can basically control where he's going. Sidney Moncrief didn't even have to hand check. He was just so fundamentally sound, and his hands were just, his hand speed and his anticipation was all. I think that was his greatest skill, was the simple fact that he had anticipation. You know, on top of the athletic ability, on top of the natural quickness and speed, he just had, he just knew exactly when to jump in the lane. He knew exactly when to put his hand out. He knew exactly when. I mean, he just knew exactly on the court. He was such an intelligent defender. I mean, he would in this era where everybody is just skill without any cerebral aspects to the game. They just depending strictly on the physical. Sidney Moncrief would run circles around these guys, just off of the simple fact of the matter that his defensive style, he would bait you. He would bait you. He would be right in front of you. You're thinking like, okay, he's doing his thing. Next thing you know, he jumps out. He has a steal. His anticipation and his speed, but also the simple fact that he was very good at setting traps on the floor. You know what I'm saying? He was able to use a lot of times the opposite team, his teammates, the way they moved around the floor, the spacing, all that stuff. Sidney would use that to his advantage to get angles, to play passing lanes, to find passing lanes, to create situations where the guard that he was guarding would be compromised, would have to give up the ball or put him in a bad position where Sidney can pounce on him and take the ball, take the ball from him and start that fast break, getting the ball out to Terry Cummins and, I'm saying, all the other guys out there that squad had, Mike Dunleavy, had Craig Hodges. I mean, you had Pressey, you had a lot of dudes on that Milwaukee Bucks team. Just like I said in the Out the East series, episode 1, where I speak on the 84-85 Milwaukee Bucks. In the 80s, the Milwaukee Bucks was the best team to not reach the NBA Finals. This team had the unfortunate bad luck of being in the East with the 76ers, with the Boston Celtics. I mean, it was such a tough time. It was such a tough time for Milwaukee. They just could never get over the hump. But yeah, definitely Sidney Moncrief, and that's probably a reason why players like Sidney Moncrief are almost forgotten, because they had very limited playoff success, and that's usually where you make your name. But I would have to say, man, Sidney Moncrief would have no problem in today's NBA, just for the simple fact of the matter that his fundamentals, his speed, his anticipation, his smarts, on top of all the athletic gifts that he was given, Sidney Moncrief would be first team. He would be in contention. I would definitely have to say Sidney Moncrief was first team All NBA defense. He would be an all-star. He would make an All NBA team. I mean, Sidney Moncrief, one of the greatest two-way players the game has ever seen, and he would definitely have no problem in today's NBA. Definitely not. And the second question: in a Jordan versus LeBron video, shouts to Jordan versus LeBron, D. Davis mentions the theory of Jordan joining forces with Magic and Bird. Do you believe these three competitors would complement each other, or would their competitive drive cause turmoil in the locker room? And if it did work out, would they be close to a perfect? Would they be close to a perfect season? Ooh, this one's a heavy question. A lot of people always would theorize. There it is. Theorize Jordan joining Magic and Bird because of the Flop King and this era with the whole AAU approach to team building. If Magic, Jordan, and Bird got together, Well, definitely they would definitely complement each other just automatically just by their positions. Magic being the greatest point guard of all time, Jordan being the greatest shooting guard of all time, and Bird being the greatest small forward of all time. So they wouldn't be playing the same position. That's automatic. That's an automatic win right there. But I would have to say, would they complement each other? I think so. They would definitely complement each other because of the positions. And I would have to say, looking at their games, Magic Johnson, with the way that he could create space, pace, he dictate the pace. He dictated the space and the pace of the game. Ran the fast break. I mean, his passing ability. He didn't really have to score because you got Jordan and Bird on the wings. So all he would have to do is just facilitate, put his points here and there, but for the most part, just facilitate, get the ball to the scorers. And Magic Johnson would do that with no problem. Jordan would complement that because, hey, he has a guy who's giving him all kinds of good looks because Jordan's going to run the floor. Jordan's going to fill the lanes. Jordan's going to be there to get out on the break, dunking, fast break, dunking, alley oops, crazy layups, all that stuff. Jordan's going to find his spots on the floor. Magic is going to find him. Magic being the player that he is, he's going to know where Michael is at all times and Magic at all times. So Michael, with his defense as well, a great perimeter defender, along with Larry Bird, who was also a great perimeter defender. Crazy. And then you have Larry Bird, the timely shooting. I mean, this is a superstar that got dirty. This is a superstar that hit the big shots. This is a very, very one of the greatest rebounders from the small forward position you'll ever see. That's what I think, in my opinion, separates him from LeBron James. That's why LeBron will never be number one, because Larry Bird's rebounding, the way he controlled the glass, even from the small forward position. I mean, very few small forwards can even put their rebounding numbers and defensive numbers up to Larry Bird. Very underrated defender. You get those three guys together, I definitely think that their games would just commingle. And plus, on top of that, despite the fact that these are all three alphas, they also were three great teammates. They only wanted to win. They did not care if their name was in bright lights. They didn't care. Despite the fact that they were, the three biggest guys in the NBA, between the 80s and the 90s. These were the three big dogs. These were the big three. These were the big three of the NBA. So with these guys being, on the same team, and with them being winners, despite the fact that they have all these accolades, all the fanfare, all the love and admiration, these guys had egos, yes, but they were willing to put those egos to the side because they wanted to win. And I think that would definitely complement just the simple fact of the matter that they're three competitive guys and who have crazy competitive streaks. They were humble enough and wise enough to know that, hey, I'm trying to win. This guy's trying to win. This guy's trying to win. We're gonna put our egos to the side. We're gonna put our games together, and we're gonna dog walk anybody. And I would have to say, if they were together, all three in their prime, all three at the peak of their powers, yeah. That 72-10 would be eclipsed. Definitely. I'm not gonna say 82-0. I ain't gonna go that far. But I will say this: 72-10 would not be the record, would not be the best record in NBA history. That's for sure. And I don't care. I know what the Golden State Warriors did. Yes, they got 73-9, blah blah blah. I don't count that because it don't mean a thing if you don't got the ring. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that ring. And that's why I still to this day say that the 95-96 Chicago Bulls is the greatest team of all time. The 85-86 Celtics are number two. Why? Because they finished the job. I don't care what you did in the regular season. That's cool. That's cool, but that's not going to carry you to the playoffs. That's why I give those teams props. And because Magic, Jordan, and Bird have are part of three of the greatest records in NBA history. Magic Johnson Lakers was part of one of the longest winning streaks in NBA history. You feel me what I'm saying? Like Showtime Lakers was monsters. And they had some of the greatest, and these guys also played with great players. So this would not be a new thing. You know, Michael, he's played with Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper. He's played with great players. You know, Magic, he's played with Kareem. He's played with James Worthy. He played with Michael Cooper. He's played with Byron Scott. He played with great players. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Bill Walton. They've all played with superstars. They've all played with big names. And they still were able to create great teams. So why not these three not making a great trio? They would definitely would. And I think that they would run roughshod through the NBA. If you give them all three peak of their powers, there's nobody. There's nobody. It's pick your poison. It's pick your poison. Pick your poison. And all you got to do, you add a competent center and power forward. We're going to the jeweler. We're fitting for rings. We're fitting for rings. You feel me? And I think that's what I believe. That's what I believe, because these guys were consummate professionals, great teammates, despite the fact that, you know, their styles were a little bit rough. Magic was very, very accommodating and friendly and cool with his teammates, but he'd get on you if you was slacking. Michael was like the extreme opposite of that, where he was almost like a general, you know, a dictator. Like, you're gonna do this, I will drag you, and I will drag you to the championship if I have to, but you're gonna fall in line. And then Bird was somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying? He was a great teammate, but yet and still he had that jerk. He had that you know, that dictator in him as well. But, you know, like I said, he was more in the middle. You know what I'm saying? He was probably in the middle of that. So that's just what I feel. I definitely think that they would be a successful team, a very successful squad. I definitely think that they, like I said, 72-10 may not survive. 73-9 definitely not going to survive as well. Yeah, they would definitely have that record. I definitely would have to say that record would be beat. But with that being said, hopefully I answered your questions, Jessica. Hopefully I did a great job. As always, man, the questions were thought-provoking, fun, and definitely I'm glad that I was able to get these questions answered for you. So with that being said, we'll leave it right there. You already know what it is, man. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Man, middle of the week. We're almost there. We're halfway to the weekend. We're halfway there, guys. I hope you guys had a productive day. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you guys got a lot of things done. Hopefully you was able to accomplish any goals that you had throughout the day. Hopefully everything went well. My hope for you guys this evening that you guys have a great one, that you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Spend time with your families. Love on them babies. Love on them loved ones. Love on your peoples, man. Tomorrow definitely is not promised. So make sure you cherish those moments, man. Don't be stupid. Don't be dumb out here. Be respectful. Be responsible. Don't do anything that's going to put you in harm's way or others in harm's way. If you can be a hand, a helping hand, be that. If you can be a shoulder to cry on, be that. If you can be somebody's backbone to help them stand tall, be that. You know what I'm saying? It's always most rewarding to be there for somebody and to be important to somebody, because you are important to somebody. So don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that you are important to somebody, man. Keep a clear head, good intentions in your heart, and you out of here. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Skinny Hardaway, man. And this is another episode of Retro Heat Check in the books. And I'm just going to say these words, man. I'm going to leave you with these words, my guys and ladies. Peace. And wear your sneakers.